Well, hey, what's up? It's Dave, and we're going to do a little Breaking Bad talk here. Now, I can't put this on the radio to talk about Breaking Bad because people are like, I haven't seen the end yet, I'm still on season 2 or whatever, so you and I, we've watched the whole thing, so we're going to go through a little bit of Breaking Bad. First of all, this opening scene here, I was, you know, like the beginning of a lot of Breaking Bads, they're confusing, and you can't quite figure out what's going on until a little bit later. But then I figured out what he was doing and what's going on here. So, let's fast forward through this part a little bit. Were you happy with the whole series finale last night? I was pretty happy with it. There were some ridiculous coincidences that happened at the very end that I thought was a little bit of the stretch of the imagination. But for the most part, I liked the fact that they had the balls to actually have it come to a clean ending, not leave loose ends tied up. Unlike Sopranos, which was an extremely unpleasing, unsatisfying ending. Let's see what he's doing here. This is where he's pretending to be the reporter to interview these two people that he used to be associated with. And I thought this was really very suspenseful when he was in their house, and very, very creepy. But I'll be honest with you, I thought he was going to kill him. I was like, that's a little bit of an overreaction to kill these two, but I really thought that's what he was going to do. But I loved this part here with the lasers, which is coming up in just a second here. I thought this was very, very, very clever, and didn't see this coming, not at all. Let me fast forward a little bit more. This was so clever, because, wow, what a way for him to convince these two that if they don't give his family the money, that they better watch their back. Wow, I was like, Walt, you're a genius. By the way, isn't there still a part of you that roots for Walt just a little bit, even though he's become a despicable person? You still kind of like somehow relate to him, and you feel sorry for him in a way, and it was very sad. There's a scene later when he says he watches Walt Jr. walk home from school, get off the school bus, and go in the house for the last time, and I thought that was kind of heart-wrenching. Okay, so he's got this part here with the lasers, and of course, as it turns out, it's Badger and Skinny Pete, and that made me laugh. By the way, this movie, Captain Phillips, looks really good. Definitely want to see that one. Okay, back to the action here. They just showed an ad for the Breaking Bad gift set, which is out, I think, in November, and it's available now to reserve on Amazon. So this is Jesse displaying an amazing talent for this craft that he has here, and I thought that was pretty cool. I would have never guessed Jesse would have had the knack for making something like that, but then, oh, whoops, it was him actually dreaming that he could make something like that, because the next shot is a very haggard Jesse back in the lab. Here's Walt with the getting the ricin out of the house. And, you know, smart people might have been able to figure out that he poisoned her right here, because they end this scene with her putting the ricin into her tea, and then she stirs it in. Now, if you're really smart, you saw him get the ricin out of the electric socket, and then she stirs it in. They end the scene with her stirring it in, which, if you're smart, and I'm not, that should have been a definite tell that he had just poisoned her with ricin. I didn't get that. Did you get that? I didn't get that at all. But watch this, because she stirs it in. Hold on, here we go. And any second now.
Jesus. Did you look at him? You'd be doing him a favor.
So Walt planted this ricin packet. There she goes, dumping it into her tea, and very ominously, boom! She is poisoning herself with this ricin. Okay. And did you ever watch Talking Bad? I never did watch Talking Bad. All right, we're only about halfway through, so we're going to zip through some parts of it here. Because this, I thought, the gun thing was very clever. One thing that's a little bit of disbelief for me is Walt is a chemist, not a mechanical engineer, but apparently the writers of the show felt the need to give him the qualities of a mechanical engineer. This scene here, I thought was very sad, because I've got a son myself. I've got 2 sons, and to imagine watching your son, seeing your son for the very last time, and you know it's going to be the last time, and you know that he doesn't want to see you. Very sad. That was actually very, very heart-wrenching. And then he saw his baby earlier. I never really bought Walt as a loving dad of the little girl. I think the little girl was something that just came on early and they had to kind of follow through, but they definitely didn't make her like very visible or anything in the show. All right, onward. This was awesome. You know, you wondered why this guy let Walt park the way he did, because he said no. And then this gets a little bit hard to believe. Because in this scene, everything goes down exactly the way Walt had planned. Now, if you've ever planned for anything complicated ever in your life, you know that it never goes exactly how you planned. But in this one, I think the writers, you know, we got to give them a little bit of leeway, because to make a clean ending for the show, this had to go down exactly the way Walt had planned. Everything from, wait a second, you don't believe that Jesse and I are not partners? You go get him. I'm going to show you how beat up he is. Now you're going to see that Jesse is not my partner, that he's actually working for me, almost under like slave conditions. So, and then they went to get him, and then Walt pushes Jesse down. The machine gun works absolutely flawlessly, perfectly, kills everybody in there. And I mean, it was an excellent scene. It was really, really cool. And like I said, you got to have the, you know, you got to give the producers credit for having the balls. This was really good. This is a very powerful machine gun to be able to shoot through stucco walls and appliances, and that is like a mega machine gun. That's not like your typical machine gun. Very cool, and then kind of ghastly as it runs out of ammo, and then it just kind of swings back and forth, which takes quite a while to happen. And then, of course, afterward, there it is swinging back and forth. Who's still alive? Guess what? That creepy guy, Todd, is still alive. So that's when Jesse kills him with the chain. He shoots this guy, which I thought was awesome. And then Jesse says, oh, you want to die? Do it yourself. Walt finds out somehow that he got shot or something in this whole battle. This is when he calls that girl Lydia, and he says, guess what? You're dead because I slipped you the ricin in that stevia stuff that you put in your tea. So then Walt basically, I don't know, Jesse leaves. He's all hysterical. Walt goes back and he's all reminiscent in the drug lab and very sad. And that's the end of the show when they zoom out and you realize that Walt's dead. So what do you think? Were you happy? Leave a comment and let me know whether you're happy with the way it turned out. Whether you guessed it would ever turn out that way. That's something I think they did right, is that Lost was victim of so much speculation of how it could possibly be explained away that Lost writers had to come up with the most ridiculous, terrible explanation ever. And I think that these writers, they came up with a brilliant way to end it all. Nobody would have guessed it, and I don't think anybody did guess it. But did you guess it? Were you close? Were you happy with the answer? Thanks for watching this. Here, one more little thing. Come here, Rex. Rex, come here. Come on, Josie. Come on. Come on. Okay. The dogs wanted to say hi, so I thought I'd bring them in. And that is all I've got. Thanks for watching. Here's the awkward part where I reach for the video camera. Okay. Here we go. And I'm reaching.